Well, and that was that blue shell I was talking about, because I got it first, so it didn't get me. I mean, it did, but it's much worse if you're actually the first. I was really happy to see in this version that they kept my shortcut from Mario Kart Wii, except they changed it slightly, but for the most part it's exactly the same, which is nice. Oh, here comes a shell. Should have had a banana. Oh well. Oh, there's the banana I needed earlier. Let's not hit that banana. So that was the end of that 3-pack. So those are 3 of the games I have for the Wii U that I play quite often. I have never played games on a PlayStation before because I've never had access to one. Because, I mean, the console I had growing up was the Wii, and now I have the Wii U, so I've never had a PlayStation. My dream programming job would be coding because would be coding video games because I like challenges, and I think each video game that I would code would pose its own set of interesting challenges, since, I mean, all video games aren't exactly the same and they all work differently and they're all like different. I mean, you have all different types of video games, like you have racing and then, you know, combat, like first person shooters, stuff like that. And then I really want to see how video games are coded, because I like to think about how they might be coded just ever since, like, I started coding stuff myself. Like, I've coded a simple battleship program in C++. Well, actually not C++, it was in C. And then I've coded, like, just basically really small games without graphics. So I haven't learned how to do graphics yet, but I would certainly like to, because it'd be a cool thing to know how to do. And also, like, a useful skill. But yeah, like I said before, I think about how the games I play must have been coded, and, like, I mostly think about the inheritance aspect, because, like, for example, in this game, let's go back to where you pick out your card. Like each character has to be derived from probably like a character base class, I would think, because they all kind of have the same abilities, except, I mean, there's 3 different sizes of characters. There's small, like Toad, and then medium would be like Yoshi, and then Donkey Kong would be one of the large characters. So there'd have to be those, there'd have to be like one base character class, and then 3 classes that would be like small characters, medium characters, and large characters, and then the characters that correspond to those classes would be derived from that, and they'd probably have their own class because they each have a different sprite. And then, like, okay, so let's pick that character again. So then I'm thinking that there would also have to be a car class, because you have all these different cars, and if you look at the stats, they change, like, depending on what car you have. So there'd have to be something, like some virtual function that would make sure that these things would change depending on, like, what card you pick. And there's also bikes, so there'd probably have to be a bike class too, I would think. Though it could be similar to the car class, because they all have the same controls, like how to steer them and slide around corners and stuff like that. So let's go back to the one I had. And also I think there'd be a wheel class, because again, these affect, like, the traction, handling, and everything of, like, how you drive your vehicle. So each individual wheel would have to be would have to inherit from a wheel base class, I would think. Same with the gliders. So the gliders don't really affect your stats all that much, but they affect it a little bit, so there would have to be virtual functions in each individual, in the base class, so you could change these things for each glider. So let's go back. So basically, that's all I wanted to say. I guess another thing that I've thought of that could make an improvement to this game would be more characters. This game definitely needs more characters, I think. That's the case in a lot of video games, but there's a lot of characters that got cut out that were in Mario Kart Wii but aren't actually in this game, like Bowser Jr., for example, Boo, and Dry Bones. But I think the main thing that I'd want them to change is before you buy the DLCs you have 32 tracks, but once you buy the DLCs you have 48 because they add 16. But if you go into Versus and you pick the number of tracks you want to do back to back, the maximum number is still 32 even after you buy the DLC. So I think there should be a patch that fixes that problem so you can do 48 back to back, because you paid for 48 tracks, so you should be able to play all of them back to back without having to start over and start a new game. So basically, the things I have discussed in this video are just some of the reasons that I'd like to work in the video game industry, decoding and design games, and this internship would allow me to do that. I would like to thank you for your time. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.